So here we're in our back garden. So this is the edge of our garden here. Going up, this is our garlic crop, which is kind of sporadic in spots. We've had some mole activity in here. I think they've done some damage to the root system of the garlic, but the ones that have survived look really nice. They're doing well. But these will be harvested in about a week or two. But I want to show you the garden back here is doing great. Last year or two I've been kind of worried because we were getting a lot of inconsistency up and down. This is actually kind of tiled, and you'd see where the tiles were, the crops were doing a lot better than the gaps in between the tile, which is not good. That shows they have some drainage issues, and it seemed like every year was getting worse and worse. And part of that was, I think, because I was using a skid steer to put down compost. It was adding compaction. Even though I wasn't driving on the beds, in between the beds were getting compacted, which the walkways are just as important as far as having drainage, because the water will run off, and if it just sits in the walkway and slowly seeps into the beds will stay wet longer than they should be. And so last year we were really having some issues, especially on the far end. The far end always seemed worse and wetter. Now I don't know, part of it could be the drought this year, that it hasn't been overly wet, but I irrigate anyways during the drought, and so if it isn't draining well, it would still get kind of wet on that end, and the crops wouldn't be doing as well. But this year it's very consistent the whole way through, and I think the main reason for that is this garden here I've been broadforking. So when I noticed that we were having those issues, we don't invert the soil through tillage, but instead I just used a broad fork. Came through here last year after our first crops came out and before our second crops went in, I forked, and that helped some last year. But this year in the spring I did it again just to really help loosen it up, and we're really seeing the benefits of it. It's just consistent all the way down. You can't tell where the tile's at. And here's our corn with our winter squashes. So there's 2 rows of winter squashes, then we have corn here just to give these room to vine out. And as you can see, you can't really see any area where the plants aren't doing as well. It's just nice and consistent. Same with the beans. These beans are just lush all the way down. And here we have our new planting of beans. I cover them just to get them to germinate quicker and to keep the robins from pecking the seeds out of the ground. And our brassicas, these have been the best brassicas, at least fall brassica or spring brassicas that we've grown, I think, ever. And kind of the same thing. I mean, this area here was always the lower spot, and I did kind of dig out a waterway here. You can't see it now, but to let the water drain out, because we sloped down to the west, but here there's kind of a crest and then actually slopes back towards the woods. And this fence that we put in, as the weeds grow up and die down, it's actually created a little bit of a berm there that the water can't get out. And so we were actually having some water puddle up here, and it kind of made the crops around this whole area suffer. And last year I had taken care of that, or not last year, the year before last I took taken care of that. But we still saw some residual drainage problems because of that. And whenever you have bad drainage, it adds to compaction. So going through the Broadfork a couple times, these beds, you can't, there's no inconsistencies. The plants are thriving the whole way down. So it's amazing what that just a little bit of loosening and breaking up of the compaction and creating those air passages does for plants. It allows the oxygen to get down to the root zone, and the more oxygen, the parts of the soil that are rich in oxygen are more conducive to beneficial bacteria thriving in that part of the soil. If your soil is compacted or you don't have good drainage, that means oxygen can't get down to those areas, And those type of environments are more conducive to your harmful bacteria and harmful fungal diseases. So the Broadfork, it seems like it's really taking care of those issues in the back, which is very exciting. I just wanted to share that with you. And this here is where we've gotten our first CSA members, is where the broccoli came out of. It's been beautiful for this week. So these cabbages will be coming, I think, in a couple weeks. And we got cauliflower right there. So until next time, eat well, live well.